Hello, first graders. So we are on chapters 5 and 6 of Mummies in the Morning. Previously, what just happened? Jack and Annie are in ancient Egypt. They followed the black cat into a pyramid. Weren't really sure what was going on outside the pyramid because they think they saw a mirage, something fake, something that the desert plays tricks on their eyes with because of the heat. So they follow the cat into the pyramid. They see a lady. At first they think it's a tomb robber, but then when they talk to the lady, Jack tries to hand the scepter, the gold scepter, to her, and it goes right through the body. So we have no idea who this lady is. Is it a ghost? What happened? That is what we are going to figure out in chapters 5 and 6. Okay, so chapters 5, starting now. The Ghost Queen. "A ghost," Annie whispered. But Jack could not stare in horror. The ghost began to speak. She spoke in hollow, echoing voice. "I am Hutepi," she said, "Queen of the Nile. Is it true that you have come to help me?" "Yes," said Annie. Jack still couldn't speak. "For 1,000 years," said the Ghost Queen, "I have waited for help." Jack's heart was pounding so hard, he thought he might faint. "Someone must find my book of the dead," she said. "I need to go on the next life." "Why do you need the book of dead?" asked Annie. She didn't sound scared at all. "It will tell me the magic spells I need to get through the underworld," said the Ghost Queen. "The underworld?" said Annie. "Before I journey on to the next life, I must pass through the horrors of the underworld." "What kinds of horrors?" Annie asked. "Poisonous snakes," said the Queen. "Lakes of fires? Monsters? Demons?" "Oh!" Annie stepped closer to Jack. "My brother hid the book of dead, so tomb robbers would not steal it," said the Ghost Queen. "Then he carved this secret message on the wall, telling me how to find it." She pointed to the wall. Jack was still in shock. He couldn't move. "Where?" asked Annie. "Here." She squinted at the wall. "What do these tiny pictures mean?" The Ghost Queen smiled sadly. "Alas, my brother forgot my strange problem. I cannot see clearly that which is close to my eyes. I have not been able to read his message for 1,000 years." "Oh, that's not a strange problem," said Annie. "Jack can't see anything either. That's why he wears glasses." The Ghost Queen stared in wonder at Jack. "Jack lent her your glasses," said Annie. Jack took his glasses off his nose. He held them out to the Ghost Queen, but she backed away from him. "I fear I cannot wear your glasses, Jack," she said. "I am made of air." "Oh, I forgot," said Annie. "But perhaps you will describe the hieroglyphics on these walls," said the Ghost Queen. "Who?" said Annie. Hieroglyphs," said Jack, finally finding his voice. "It's the ancient Egyptian way of writing. It's like writing with pictures." The Ghost Queen smiled at him. "Thank you, Jack," she said. Jack smiled at her. He put his glasses on. Then he stepped toward the wall and took a good long look. "Oh, man," he whispered. The Writing on the Wall, Chapter 6. Jack and Annie squinted at the pyramid wall. A series of tiny pictures were carved into the stone. "There are 4 pictures here," Jack told the Ghost Queen. "Describe them to me, Jack. One at a time." "Please," she said. Jack studied the first picture. "Okay," he said. "The first one is like this." He made a zigzag in the air with his finger. "Like stairs?" asked the Ghost Queen. "Yes, stairs," said Jack. "Just like stairs." She nodded. "Easy enough." Jack studied the second picture. "The second one has a long box on the bottom," he said. He drew it in the air. The Ghost Queen looked puzzled. "With 3 things on top, like this," said Annie. She drew squiggly lines in the air. The Ghost Queen still seemed puzzled. "Like a hat," said Jack. "Hat?" said Ghost Queen. "No more like a boat," said Annie. "Boat?" said the Ghost Queen. She got excited. "Boat?" Jack took another look at the wall. Yes, it could be a boat, he said. The Ghost Queen looked very happy. She smiled. Yes, of course, she said. Jack and Annie studied the next picture. The third one looks like a thing that holds flowers, said Annie. Or a thing that holds water, said Jack. Like a jug? Asked the Ghost Queen. Exactly, said Jack. Yes, a jug, said Annie. Jack and Annie studied the last picture. And the last one looks like a pole that droops, said Annie. Like a curved stick, said Jack. But one side is shorter than the other. The Ghost Queen looked puzzled. Wait, said Jack. I'll draw it on my notebook. Big, so you can see it. Jack put down the scepter and got out his pencil. He drew the hieroglyph. A folded cloth, said the Ghost Queen. Well, not really, said Jack. He studied his drawing. But that is the hieroglyphic for a folded cloth, said the Queen. Well, okay, said Jack. He looked at the fourth hieroglyph again. He still couldn't see the folded cloth, unless it was like a towel hanging over a bathroom rod. So, that's all of them, said Annie. She pointed at each picture. Stairs, boat, jug, folded cloth. Jack wrote words in his notebook. Stairs, jug, boat, cloth. So, what does the message mean? He asked the Ghost Queen. Come, she said. She held out her hand. Come to my burial chambers. And she floated away. Alright, so that does it for chapters 5 and 6. Now, again, we are not doing a journal response, but I will read the question to you just so you have something to talk about with somebody at home. Build that reading comprehension. So it says, do you know of any other people who tell their stories by using pictures? So I want you to think back, relate. Is there any other people you know that tell their stories by drawing pictures? Now, this is probably something we've done at school a few times when we were in kindergarten. First graders, we like to use words a little bit more now. But think back, maybe you want to Google this. Do a safe Google with your parents and maybe see if there's any other people that do hieroglyphs, or how you could figure out, if there's any other tribes or ancient people or cultures that use hieroglyphs to pass on stories instead of writing. Okay? So it'll be long ago, so you're probably not going to find a lot of people that use this recently, but it will be something you could probably research with somebody at home. Just make sure you're researching with a mom, dad, or an older sibling that can help you do it safely. Okay? So that does it for today's reading. Join me tomorrow for chapters 7 and 8.